This Hangout on Air is live, and everything sounds wrong to me. So I'm going to do some mess around, and the picture looks too bright. And why is that? I can tell you why. Let's bring the brightness down some. How's that?
That's much better.
Okay, so I don't have my webcam settings yet. I haven't found the profile on that.
I think you can work with that.
Okay, you can stand it?
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. My editor had last-minute changes I wasn't expecting.
Your editor always has changes.
Yeah, but at 4:57, that's not quite what I was hoping for. But
that dog walk.
Yeah, blame the dog. All right, something is still wrong. I sound doubled to me. I sound really, really loud, and I sound doubled. Why is that? We've been working on this for 2 days, trying to get this fixed, and I thought I had it. So I'm betting, well, let's see what NosillaCast is up to. Where'd NosillaCast go? NosillaCast, where are you? Ah, there you are. You are hide. Okay, you're supposed to be over there. All right. We are live on NosillaCast, which as of right now, I think is broadcasting nowhere. But just noticed the new Twit studio looks an awful lot like Allison and Steve's house.
Wouldn't NosillaCast be broadcasting to your NosillaCast page?
Yes, if that page were functioning, but it's not. Because those are not HTTPS capable links. So they're not there. So I'm not sure why I'm running NosillaCast.
How about Donald's app?
Technically, yes, but if you're on Donald's app, you're not in the right chat room. Oh, don't forget to follow the other chat room, Steve.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be playing on Donald's app either.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sending. Well, who knows? I don't know. Don't worry about that. I am more worried about my audio. Sounds terrible. So I could do this. Actually, did that make me quieter just now? Yeah, it did, didn't it? How's that sound? Is that better?
Yeah.
Huh. The overdrive, the audio overdrive that I can set, I can make my voice louder, was just set to 100%, but was off. I just changed it to about 50%.
Unfortunately, I can no longer get, I no longer have voice in Donald's chat room. He's turned off the voice spot.
Oh, okay.
Richard was there. He just quit. Hopefully he'll join us here.
You have his Twitter handle?
I can look.
Kirsten's here. Well, let me do a little bit of roll call. We've got Steve and Brett and Kevin and Sybil, who's grayed out. I'm not sure. Gial's dazzled. I'm guessing that is our little friend George from Tulsa. Jino Choi. We got Joe LaGreca on mobile. Landon. The name is familiar, but I'm not sure who that is. We got Kirsten, John, and Sandy. All right. Better on the video, not distorted, Landon says. Great, great. Landon, have you been here before? The name is familiar, but it might be because I have a friend whose last name is Landon. Let me do a little audio check here. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com. See if by some miracle that plays back. So then maybe come back over here. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan.
We have playback.
Podcast, hosted at podfeet.com. But it's really quiet. I got to put me back up. That's too quiet. Maybe the input on my mic is too hot. Let me see about that. Okay, well, that's lower than it ever was. Hang on. I have to get close to read this stupid thing. No, it's on the right input. Well,
so this is Landon's first time here, long-time listener.
Oh, yay. Nice to meet you, Landon.
Oh, yeah, he was here.
Wait, you just said...
I've got him in the chat room.
Time. You've got him in the list?
Yeah, that kind of implies he was here before. I don't know. Maybe I predicted the future.
He or she?
He or she.
What do you have in the...
Apple fanboy, so I'm assuming...
What's that?
Apple fanboy. I've pulled the Twitter descriptions into the chat room descriptions.
You should show people the link of who all has been here.
All right.
Live audio is a bit hot. Yeah. Except that woman that keeps talking all the time. Nice. This is got another control over here. It shouldn't be. I think it should be on that. Yeah. I don't know. Let's find out what happens. Let me test this again. Did that sound any better?
Sounds good here.
What's that?
Your voice sounds good on the video.
Okay, good. Not too hot?
It's not too hot.
Okay, let me test this again. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com. I am definitely getting my voice twice. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com.
But the recording doesn't sound like it's twice. Is it
No.
just when...
Yeah, it's something I'm hearing. Let me see if let's see, that doesn't work. I can't do that. What if I listen to pass through? Is that any better? Nope. I'm still hearing myself twice.
Oh, Landon clarified that you covered his 2.45 gigahertz workaround for the split networks.
Oh, okay.
That's why we had him in the chat room list.
Oh, okay, great. All right. Okay. Well, I think we should start. The chances of there being sausage made tonight is pretty close to 100%. What do you think?
Since we've already started making it, I would say yes.
Good point. Okay, so where's 597? Oh, there it is. Okay, here we go. All right, there's going to be a lot of work to be done after I'm done with recording today, just so you know, Steve.
Good. Dinner's going to take a little longer anyway.
Okay, that text is not big enough for me to read. All right, back to my Mars Edit preferences. Web preview standard font. Here we go. There we go. That's what we want. Let's pump that bad boy up to 18. There we go. All right, here we go. You're coming on a good day, Landon. It's anarchy here, and you're going to hear why. All right. Here we go. Bam. Are you muted, Steve?
No, but thank you. I will mute now.
Okay. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. Today is Sunday, October 16th, 2016, and this is show number 597. Getting pretty close to that 600 mark, so let's dig in. Well, Bart Busschots is back with installment 23 of his Programming by Stealth series on Chit Chat Across the Pond. Last time he was there, we learned about how to change what elements on a web page looked like. But this week, we learned how to actually change and create the elements themselves. He's using a real-world example of changing whether links on a web page open in a new tab or replace the existing page. That's something I actually want to do. If we're good and we do our homework, next time, he promised, we're going to actually build a clock, a web clock. Now, he picked this example because the clock over on podfeet.com/live broke when we went to HTTPS. And without it, no one knows when it's 5 o'clock at my house, which is what time the live show starts. It's going to be a really fun episode next time, but it's a fun episode this time. So don't forget to subscribe to Chit Chat Across the Pond in your podcatcher of choice. Oh, come on.
Is it recording?
Yeah, the recording's too quiet. Dang it. I gotta bring this back up. Yep, it's gonna be. Whoa, jeez! I gotta turn myself down here at least. I've got myself on a single dot. Where is that coming from? You know, I document everything, so this shouldn't happen. Okay, let's try that one more time. I'm gonna do a little test record this time. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com. It's like Groundhog Day, isn't it? Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com. Oh, no, Sandy. You're going to miss the 600th show. Change your flight. All right, that looked better. Minus. There we go. All right. Well, those things are still dinging. How many angels can dance with you on your single dot? What is he talking about?
I think like head of a pin type of a dot.
I guess, but why?
Now you can drink, Kevin.
Denise says, dang, I think I'm behind again because I swear Allison just said that. All right, here we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted by Podfeet. Oh, I do know what I need to do to fix this. There's a tip that Dave Hamilton posted. I got to go find. Somebody want to go look that up for me? Denise, I bet you'd know what it is. If you on the Mac Observer, there's a switch that needs to be set in audio hijack to get into low latency mode. Now, I've already got the slider set to low latency, but it's not doing it. And I think I need that double secret thing. He explained it in a link on the Mac Observer. So first one to get that wins the prize. Because I'm hearing myself twice, which is nice.
Thing that Dave found and talked about?
Yeah, he posted it on TMO.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted over at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. Today is Sunday, October 16th, 2016, and this is show number 597. Well, we got to dig in here. It's time for... just stop. I'm just not... Cancel. I'm not even saying my intro right. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. Today is Sunday, October 16, 2016, and this is show number 597. We're getting pretty close to that 600th show, but we better dig into this one now. Well, Bart Busschots is back with installment 23 of his Programming by Stealth series over on Chit Chat Across the Pond. Last time we learned how to change what elements on a web page looked like, but this time we learned how to actually create these elements and then change what they do. He's using a real-world example of changing whether links on a web page open in a new tab or replace the existing page. If we're good and we do our homework, next time we're going to actually build a clock. Now, he picked this example because the clock on podfeet.com/live broke when we went to HTTPS. And without that clock, nobody knows when it's 5 o'clock at my house and therefore time for the live show. This is a really fun episode that we just did on Chit Chat Across the Pond. So don't forget to subscribe to Chit Chat Across the Pond in your podcatcher of choice. That was a lot of work, but I think we're good. That looks like a very pretty waveform now.
Just to add a little more sausage to the mix.
What?
It's not, you don't have to worry about it, but Alpha Geek doesn't seem to be picking up the video, so I'll send a little.
Okay, that's not me. No, that's all your job.
Just want you to know you're not talking to Alpha Geek right now.
Oh, great. Okay. All right. There we go, right there. This week, something truly disturbing happened with my Apple ID. It all started okay, the whole thing's written by like present tense. This week, something truly disturbing happened with my Apple ID. It all started this week when I used my iPad Pro to buy a Hue hub from the Apple Store using Apple Pay. When prompted, I happily put my finger on Touch ID and the website confirmed that my payment had been accepted. A few minutes later, I got a confirmation that my order was being prepared. It included an order number, and I'll give you the ending number because I'm going to refer to it. It was order number 9168. Well, in the morning when I got up, I had an email from Apple entitled Action Required, and it referenced that same order number 9168. In the email, they politely explained that my credit card provider had declined payment. In the email was a link to order status that I was encouraged to click to verify my payment. Now, I'm not one to click links in emails, but clearly I knew by the order number and everything, this really was my order, so I clicked away. When I got to order status, the Hue hub was not in the list of orders. I could see the watch band I had bought recently, but not the most recent order. That was kind of weird. So I went back to the original happy confirmation order I'd gotten the night before, and I clicked on the order number from there. It directed me into the Apple website, showing me the Hue hub order 9168. Above the order, though, it had a bright colored banner with words explaining that my order was not complete because of a problem with billing. It suggested I click a button to fix it. When I clicked that button, that's when I knew something very odd was going on, because the next page told me that my Apple ID was not associated with that order. And then it told me to log in again. I repeated these steps 3 times, thinking I must be missing something, pushing the wrong button, but I simply couldn't get out of this loop. I called AppleCare. Remember, I told you that's my new hobby. And I got through to technical specialist Christopher and later Keith, who talked to the sales side. I told him I didn't want to talk to sales directly unless they were on the phone because this sure smelled like a technical problem to me. Keith talked to sales and sales told him that my card was being rejected. Keith suggested that I go into appleid.apple.com and check my credit card. He did screen sharing with me so he could watch, and he showed me how to pause screen sharing when sensitive bits came up on screen. We saw the last 4 digits of my correct card in there, but it didn't have an expiration date, and the CVV code was blank as well, so I entered them. While he watched, I tried to reorder the Hue hub. When I tapped on Pay with Apple Pay, I was immediately rejected and asked if I wanted to pay another way. Keith got back with sales, and they thought maybe I should just try another card. No, thanks. I don't want to use another card. They asked if I'd mind just using the card instead of Apple Pay. No, I want Apple Pay to work. Finally, Keith said that he really needed to hand me off to Doc in sales because he was sure the 2 of us could figure it out. Well, Doc and I chatted for a bit about the problem, and I explained that we had confirmed the correct credit card information. I'd confirmed that it was not a bad card, it was not an old card, it was not an expired card. At some point, Doc just happened to drop into conversation the last 4 digits of my credit card from the screen he was looking at. Except it wasn't my credit card number. It wasn't a number I'd ever had. I keep records and 1Password of all my credit cards and even expired ones, so I was sure about that. I even checked with my kids on Pat Ningler's advice in case their cards got tangled in there when they bought their iPhones. We have a family plan with Apple and AT&T, so I thought maybe that was it. But it wasn't either of their cards either. I asked Doc how they could have a different number typed into his system than I was seeing in appleid.apple.com. He said he had no idea, but offered to type in my real credit card number. As soon as he did, emails started flying into my account, completing order number 9168 for my Hue hub. At the end of this, I suggested to Doc that he really should report this up the chain. And he said, "Sure, I can do that for you." To which I replied, "Oh, honey, it's not for me, it's for you." Doc did suggest that I go to over to feedback.apple.com and drop a note to Apple. You can be sure that I did that, and I gave them the full rundown. I guess the good news in this story is that Apple systems didn't let me buy on another person's credit card number. The bad news is that these databases got mixed up in the first place. Now, I would have put this entire experience off to just, one of those things, except I remembered a story Tom Merritt talked about on the Daily Tech News Show recently from MacRumors.com. In that article, they said that users were reporting iPhones which became activation locked with Apple ID addresses that did not belong to them. Activation lock is that feature that ensures that people can't steal iPhones and then get Apple to unlock them. So the only way these people can get it fixed is to prove that they actually did buy these phones. According to the MacRumors article, this happened when people had either just bought the phones or sometimes when they'd done a factory reset. Now, my problem could be entirely unrelated to their problem, but it sure smells like the Apple ID database might have some problems.
Rose just joined us.
Woo! Oh, and Richard, too. Hi, Richard. Is everybody being nice to Landon?
Yeah.
Even Kevin?
And Landon admitted that he actually was here in an earlier chat.
Oh, okay. Well, that's right. Yeah, don't challenge Steve and his database,
He did say he's going to have to go get some scotch because there's a drinking game that has started.
Uh-oh. On how many times I screw up tonight?
No, whenever I appear on the video. So they're drinking right now.
Oh, dear.
Let's go back and forth.
Over my template file.
We're going to get to the NosillaCast chat room totally drunk here.
Uh-oh. Every time you come in?
I'm going to speak up at random times.
Just to get them drunk?
And watch the chat room just decompose.
Nice. Well, I think somebody did mention our shirts. Somebody said it's starting to look like the Twit Studios in here.
Yeah, it was Brett.
Here, nice shirts.
Wait, and you need to see the backside.
Okay.
Can you read that?
Go up.
Am I up? I can't see. Is it centered?
There you go. Yep. I couldn't talk because every time I talked, you disappear. There you go. Base East Side Studio.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to leave Steve up so you guys get really drunk. But we always decompose. Nice. All right, so that's that. That was a fun story, huh?
Yeah.
All right. In my local drafts, where was I? Preview here. Next up. Okay, I'm going to skip the day the live show almost died. It's a really good story, but I'm going to skip it. We're going to next do Mark. Is Mark here? Yay, Mark's here. All right. Oh, let's give Mark his own track.
Color just got real reddish, but that's okay. You look
what got red?
Your color.
It did.
Maybe I just noticed.
I don't know. So that's something I haven't.
Changed back.
Really? Well, that's good. I haven't found my webcam settings yet.
Oh, now you're blue.
For the love of Pete.
That's okay. It's just a minor.
I also need to turn off the sound stuff in textual because your notifications are driving me nuts. Display notification. That's okay, but how do you turn off the sounds?
When I type in pod feed?
Yeah, because it's dinging every time you do that.
I just want to.
No, don't tell the audience. Don't.
Civet.
Wait, it says play sound on alert none. Good grief. Oh, here we go. Private message. No, what's it called? Highlight mention. There it is. Ah, there it is. Bounce and dock icon repeatedly and play sound glass. No, thank you.
Should I give it a try?
Yes. Okay. It did give me a notification that came up, but that I can stand.
Okay.
All right. What am I going to do? Oh, I'm doing Mark next. All right. Just because he's here, we'll play a little bit of his audio. The Apple ID database might have some problems.
Hello, Allison and fellow castaways. This is Mark Pauley with a review of an iOS app that I discovered last year and have been using ever since. The app is called Easy Pill for iOS by birdscorp.com. Until recently, I didn't regularly take medications, so tracking when to take a pill was never an issue. But that changed last year when I was prescribed a number of medications and supplements. Being a geeky castaway, I took this as an opportunity to find a technological solution, hopefully one that involved my iPhone and Apple Watch. Easy Pill is an iOS app that tracks all of your medications and sends you reminders when it's time to take a pill. This was exactly what I was looking for. The obvious first step to using Easy Pill is to input your medications into the app. While it works on an iPad or an iPhone, for simplicity, I'll just be referring to the phone. You can create your list of medications either on the phone or the Easy Pill webpage. I chose not to use the webpage because I'm not comfortable uploading this information to the web. If I had, I would have created a list of all my medications, doses, and schedule, and the page would have given me a QR code to scan with the app and all the information transfers to the app. I tested this method and it works well, but as I said, I didn't want to upload all my meds to the web. Instead, I chose to input my information directly into the app on the phone. I wouldn't call this process intuitive, but it didn't take long for me to get the hang of it. Honestly, I think part of my issue is a good thing because there are a lot of options available. How often do you take a pill? Do you take the pill the same time every day? What's the duration of time that you're taking the pill? Easy Pill really offers a lot of flexibility to tailor the schedule exactly the way you need it for each medication. So it took me a while to get everything in the way that I wanted. But I really appreciated that I was able to create a schedule that was both accurate and useful. It's also pretty easy to edit a schedule if you make a mistake or change something in the future. Again, the process for changing it wasn't exactly intuitive, but once I learned the process, it was easy to accomplish and to remember. There are two views for your medication. In one view, your pills are listed alphabetically with all of the vital information. The more useful view, and the one that I use most of the time, is the daily view. It shows a chronological list of all the pills to take that day. An icon next to each pill tells you the time to take the pill, and the color of the icon gives you a visual cue if the pill is overdue or to be taken in the future. The most useful feature of Easy Pill is that it reminds you to take your medication. This is accomplished with simple alerts that appear on the phone and a tap on your wrist from the watch with a visual reminder. The app gives options for setting up the type and frequency of the reminders so that the app can nag you as much or as little as you like. When the pill is taken, a single touch on the phone or the watch logs the dose as taken. EasyPill then records the exact time that the medication was taken, and the icon for the pill changes to alert you that the status has changed. You can also skip a dose or pause a medication from the reminders. When you finish a course of medication, EasyPill will remember it for you by automatically moving the medication to the archives. You can pull up the archives to look at the history of the medication or move it back into your active schedule if you start taking the medication again. Another handy feature of EasyPill, though I haven't used it much, is a direct Google link for each medication that obviously connects you to Google for information and images about each pill. This is a nice way to remember what the pill looks like or learn about the common side effects and so forth. EasyPill not only reminds you to take your medications, but it tracks your progress in a number of ways. EasyPill reports how many doses and how consistently the medication was taken. If you input the quantity of pills you start with, EasyPill will tell you how many you have left and when it's time to refill the prescription. EasyPill will also export a med list that includes the pills that are currently taken or archived, a detailed medication information, and a dose log showing exactly when you took the pill. This can be really useful to have a complete history of all the medications being taken. Having such easy access to a complete med list is really useful to share with doctors and nurses. If you've ever had to fill out a medication list in a waiting room, you know how helpful this would be. EasyPill includes the ability to sync the app between devices using iCloud. In theory, this could be useful to have your medication information on an iPhone and an iPad. I say in theory because I didn't have the best experience with it. I thought the extra screen real estate on the iPad would make entry of the medication information a lot easier. I learned the hard way that this function isn't very reliable. I had a few medications already entered in the app on my phone, and I wanted to update and add a few more. I activated the sync function and entered the new information on my iPad. EasyPill proceeded to delete the old information and move only some of the new information over. I contacted the developer, who suggested that I needed to start over, and oh, by the way, this function really isn't working very well. I had turned it off and haven't turned it back on. I would normally condemn an application for this sort of thing, but I really don't need the sync function, and the application works well for the things I do need. So while EasyPill isn't perfect, it meets my needs and I would recommend it. EasyPill is $2.99 and it works on the iPhone and the iPad. Look, it's time to take another pill. So until next time.
All right. That was actually pretty good. I hate to admit it when he does something vaguely intelligent. All right, let me save. I'm pretty sure I saved over my template file. Not sure though.
That's convenient.
Yeah, really.
How hard would it be to freeze your camera's color setting?
I don't know. How do you do that?
Oh, maybe it's not easy.
All right. Let's see. Show webcams settings. So I just changed the brightness. What did I have it set at before? Oh, so this is going to be in context of what I'm going to talk about next. Let me open my other Mac and look at webcam settings. This is one of the, what I'm about to talk about is how many different things I had to fiddle with. And so I'm bringing up on the other Mac. It's 5:30, getting close, Steve. Sure, you want me to fool with it right now?
Oh.
In the meantime, does anybody want a Vera case for the iPad? No idea which iPad it fits. It's kind of a cool thing, but I don't need it. And I have one. Anybody wants it, let me know. Okay, webcam settings is still not come up. Ugh, it's painful waiting for that stuff.
Don't worry about it. I think you got other things to take care of.
You think so? Oh, wait, there it is. Okay,
kaleidoscope of colors that we're seeing.
Basic is set to, wait. Okay. Why is that not working? So, no. See, I wanted to see. I can't. Oh, man. You can't see the options that you had saved unless you have the same camera plugged in. So I can't do it. Did I get your message about accessibility? I saw something came in and I don't remember. What was it you said? Did you say it did work? But some stuff didn't work? All right, bye, Brett. Okay, Mark, I don't remember. Did you say it did work or didn't work? Shoot, now would be a really good time to know that because I'm going to say it. Yeah, for Easy Pill. I'm going to have to type to him because he's not. Did it work or not? Okay. Mostly. That's really helpful. Okay, let me hide that. Okay. All right, here we go. Mostly. Okay. So you said some buttons were not labeled, but most of them were? Some of them just said button? Actually, I know what I'm going to do. Bring up a silly telegram and read what he wrote to me because this latency, what did he write? I turned on VoiceOver. It reads the item to me. I would say so. There are a lot of button notifications instead of identifying what the button is, like settings. Does read the medication and any does info. Also reads the time and the icons. Okay. I think I'll say partially accessible. Okay. Hey, thanks for that, Mark. I don't know about everybody else, but I can be on one medication and I have trouble remembering to take it. So Easy Pill sure sounds like a good solution. So to the blind in the audience, I did ask Mark if he would test it out for accessibility, and he hasn't used accessibility before, but he turned on VoiceOver and he moved his finger around, and a lot of the settings type things were just said buttons, so they were unlabeled. But he did say it did show the times and some of the other information when he went over them. So it might be an app that's worth working with the developer to get it cleaned up to have it be completely accessible. But I wouldn't assume it was completely accessible right now. Well, I think I mentioned on the show last week that the trackpad on my 2013 MacBook Pro wouldn't click anymore. I took it into Apple and they said, as I suspected, that it was probably a swollen battery. Not a big shock because I keep this MacBook Pro plugged in all the time, which they say is not the best thing to do for batteries. Luckily, I took it into them within 14 days of the expiration of my AppleCare. Well, I did take it in on Monday so that I would have it back in time for the live show today. I picked it up on Wednesday, but the repairs they did on it really surprised me. They did replace the battery, but they also replaced what's called the top case. The top case is basically everything you see when the laptop is open: the keyboard, the trackpad, the enclosure for those pieces. I guess that made sense since perhaps the trackpad was actually damaged when it was pressed on by the swollen battery. But whenever Apple does diagnostics on a piece of hardware, if they find something else wrong, they're going to fix that too. Evidently, something was wrong with my iSight camera. I've not had any trouble with this camera, but they replaced it anyway. The camera is part of the clamshell of the laptop, so they replaced the entire top and bottom of my laptop as well. I'm not sure why they did all that. And then, for no reason they explained on my receipt, they threw in a new logic board while they were in there. I think the display assembly might still be the same, and probably the SSD and memory, maybe a fan or two, but every single other part of my laptop has been replaced. My MacBook Pro feels like new. In fact, it was so much like a new machine that it had a fresh install of El Capitan and no data. Well, they had asked me if I had a backup of all my data, which I did when I brought it in, and they warned that this could happen. I've been procrastinating on doing a clean install of my operating system forever. It's been about 3 years since I've done a clean install. In fact, this machine was clean installed, but 3 years since I'd done it. So I was kind of happy that they forced me into doing a clean install. My first step was to replace El Capitan with Sierra because I figured, why start with El Capitan? Let's just jump in and do it. Well, I always tell people that I don't believe in using Migration Assistant because you bring all of the cruft and glop you've collected in your previous installation over the years when you do that. Think about it as like moving and not throwing anything away when you pack your boxes, or emptying everything out of the garage, washing, scrubbing the floor, repainting the walls, and then just bring everything back in and putting it right where it was. I suppose if you never add new software, it might not be too bad to do this, but there's a lot of stuff lying around in your library folder that you probably don't want to tote to the new machine. At the very end of the story, I'm going to give you some very specific metrics on how much I didn't bring with me. Another way I like to think about this is, you might go through and say, okay, I don't need this. I won't bring that over. I don't need that. I won't bring that over, and pull out what you don't need. But that's like going into your closet and taking out the clothes you don't wear. You've done that before, and you don't end up with any new space in your closet. But if you take everything out and put back what you do wear, then you will find that you have a lot of extra space. So I'm going to go with that new path of doing my migration. So I knew I was going to move over pretty much all of my data, but I did want to set up my apps from scratch. With the Mac App Store and 1Password for licenses outside of the store, it's not nearly as painful as it used to be. I've redone my MacBook a bunch of times, not my MacBook Pro for the production for the show, but my MacBook. I've done it 3 times because I had to get it replaced a couple times. It was easy peasy. I've been trying to convince Steve to do this on his iMac for about a year now. After watching me for the last couple days, I'm not sure if you're ever going to see him do a clean install. So let's walk through the process, shall we? In addition to CrashPlan for my offsite backups, I use SuperDuper for my local backups. I'd envisioned simply dragging over all my data from the backup drive to my new install, and then maybe needing a few files here and there from the old user library and installing the apps. Instead, I ended up finding it very useful to boot up an older MacBook Pro to that bootable backup, because there was so much more I needed to do. And yes, before you tell me, I do realize that I'm tainting that backup when I do this. I tested the bootable backup before I gave Apple my machine, and while it was painfully slow to boot from that 7,200 RPM drive, it did work. This was an essential ingredient to the success of my story. All right, so I got a clean install. What's the first thing you got to do? You got to install Dropbox, because that's where the 1Password vaults live, or at least they live at my house. Of course, if you install Dropbox, how do you log into Dropbox if you don't have your 1Password? Well, I have a lot of other devices, so I logged into 1Password on my phone, and then I was able to type it in on the new MacBook. I'm just going to call it the new MacBook Pro, even though it's not really new. We're just going to call it the new one. So once I got that done, then I could install 1Password, and I was ready to get to real work. I installed Wunderlist pretty soon after that, which is my to-do list application. I did it because I wanted to keep track of everything I needed to do. I like to only install applications as I need them, because I install so many weird things, I don't want to bring everything over. But as of the time that I wrote this up, I already have 49 applications on my list that are essential to how I use my Mac and how I create the show. I am not going to bore you by going through all 49 items, but I was really surprised at how many little tiny things I had to fiddle with. I don't remember it being this hard. My Wunderlist has 39 separate actions on it so far, and one of them is install apps. In that section, I've got the 49 apps to install that are critical to me. The most complicated thing I do on my Mac is the creation of the live show. There's a lot of moving pieces to this, and I've documented all of my configurations to get this to work. I launched my live show setup page, and I knew I had everything I needed to set up all those different applications. I'm going to stop and save a lot just in case.
Okay, some of the people are getting, their throats are drying out, so I need to get back on video here.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, that's all we need. Back to you.
John caught my Rosanna Dana. Nice. Did you catch it, Steve?
Yes.
No, you didn't. Only John gets credit.
I think he spelled it better than I did.
Rosanna Dana? I think it's Rosanna Dana.
But I don't know if Rosanna Dana is 2 words or 1. Probably 2.
I'm not sure. Oh, you guys are talking about ScanSnap. I have a link to ScanSnap, Fuji's latest thing. They've still got some stuff they haven't fixed. So I haven't installed ScanSnap yet. I'm kind of scared. Pat Dingler says I'll be fine, but we'll see. If you ScanSnap with Evernote, I wouldn't even consider using it. All right, here we go. I use several apps from Rogue Amoeba to get all of the audio bits to flow correctly in the live show and for doing Skype interviews for Chit Chat Across the Pond. Audio Hijack is at the heart of this. Luckily, it's pretty easy to export the configurations. You simply drag them onto the desktop and transfer them to the new machine and drag them back in. I had done that one ahead of time, knowing it would be essential. Loopback and NosillaCast round out the suite, and using my diagram, I was able to get all of those working correctly. Amadeus Pro is my digital audio workstation software, and it took me 2 days to track down this one little setting that makes it behave the way I like it. Not sure why I didn't write that one down the first time, but I took a screenshot and I've put it everywhere so I don't have to find it again. Remember the app I wrote for myself to add drop shadows to images? Well, I had a copy of it over in my applications folder on the backup, and at first I tried just compressing it and dragging it over to the new Mac. Well, that shows you how poor my memory is, right? I totally forgot there's a lot more to it than that. I thought it would be fun to go to my own blog post and download and install it from my own instructions. I had completely forgotten that to install, I needed to first install the command line application ImageMagick, but in order to install ImageMagick, I had to install Homebrew. Once I got all that done, I was in business. Got to tell you, when you forget your own stuff, that's pretty bad. Right around this time, I remembered that Apple would probably want to upload all of my 65,000 photos to iCloud again. I've never figured out why they keep doing that, but it was time to plug in my external SSD with my iCloud photo library. I started it on Wednesday night, and as of Saturday night, it was still running with 43,000 photos left to go after 3 days. Actually, wait, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 3 days. Remember, all of these photos are already in iCloud. Joe LaGreca asked me over in our Facebook group whether maybe it's not actually uploading, maybe it's just really slow at comparing the images to see if they're already there. I added yet another action item to my wonder list to figure out the answer to that question. As of when I'm recording, by the way, it did suddenly finish. It was still in the 20,000s earlier today, and this is on Sunday. So all of a sudden it did finish. So it didn't take the 3 weeks it used to, but that was about 4 days. Let's see, what else? Steve and I have nearly 300 DVDs, and I keep them cataloged in a beautiful application called DVDpedia. I remember from the last time I did a clean install that DVDpedia keeps that database in the User Library Application Support folder. So I went over there to look for it, and it wasn't there. After a lot of mucking about, I remembered that the last time when I couldn't find it and I'd forgotten about it, I had moved it over to Dropbox to make it easier to find. Finally, I can see all of my lovely DVDs in my collection. Okay, what now? Okay, you're just making fun of us. All right. Trump isn't happy with SNL. You know, I had a terrible thought today on my walk. Do you think maybe Steve Jobs, if he's in heaven, is laughing his head off at the Samsung implosion? Wait, did you hear him laugh? That made him come on screen, didn't it? Do you like my joke?
I have to be a little careful with my appearances, although now I've just blown it here, but I have to pace the chat room.
All right. Well, I took a drink.
One of them's drinking scotch, for God's sakes.
Who is that?
Who was that?
Is that George?
I forget.
All right.
I think it was Landon.
TLI Mark said he suggested it needs to be canceled. Who's that? Is that Trump says that SNL needs to be canceled. Okay. All right. Here we go. I use a lovely program called MarsEdit to write my blog posts. I needed to configure it to just to connect to podfeed.com and pull down all of my recent blog posts. But that was really easy. It's just MarsEdit is a lovely application. MarsEdit also lets you create custom keystrokes, and I had made one for how I like to format inserted links, so I needed to recreate that. MarsEdit also lets you customize your fonts when writing. I have a particular affinity for the font Century Gothic. The last time I did a fresh install, it took me a long time to find out where I got Century Gothic, because it's not a regular system font on the Mac. I discovered that it's installed with Microsoft Office. I went over to my old backup, dug out my precious Century Gothic from the fonts folder in the system library, dragged it to the new machines library, and I was happy again with my lovely Century Gothic. And by the way, I did look online to see if I could download it, and it's $125 to download it. So maybe that Microsoft Office subscription is worth it just for that fun. Well, let's see. I've created a pretty efficient workflow when I'm editing and posting the show, and part of that is enhanced by putting the apps I used in post-production into the menu bar of Finder windows. Easy enough to command drag all of them up there, but I wasn't really feeling efficient until I got that done too. Now, you know I'm a Hazel convert with a ton of cool rules that file away my scanned receipts, and even more rules to move my data from my desktop to my Drobo, and to keep my desktop clean and tidy. I had to go to the bootable backup and export all of the rules. Then on the new machine, I had to drag in each folder my rules were watching and individually import their rule sets. That was not as intuitive as I thought it should be, but it did work. I had found a place online that said where the library was or wherever in the library that they stored this information, but transferring it that way didn't work. Luckily, I could boot from that backup and pull it up. Now, here's another one that I forgot about. I take a lot of screenshots, and by default, macOS puts a giant drop shadow on every image. Now, I love a drop shadow as much as the next girl, but these are just silly size. They're giant. Off to the Googles to find the terminal command to shut those off. By the way, if you're wondering, it's defaults right com.apple.screen capture disable -shadow -bool true, and then a little kill all system UI server thrown in for the fun of it. All right, a while back, I wrote myself a simple little automator action I call sleep. It does one simple thing. In AppleScript, it issues the single command, tell Application Finder to sleep. For some reason, this seems to be an enormous effort to me to drag my mouse cursor all the way up to the Apple logo and drag all the way down to sleep. Instead, with my little script, I hit Command Space to launch Spotlight, and then I type SL and I hit Enter. Boom, my machine is asleep. Now, you're going to notice a recurring theme here. I had no idea where this little thing lived that I had created. I did some hunting on the backup, and I discovered it was actually an application. Well, look at me. I dragged it over, and now I can put my Mac to sleep quickly again. Probably one of the biggest surprises to me was that Google Chrome didn't bring over my bookmarks. I thought once I logged into my Google accounts, they would, but instead I got a much older version of them. Maybe the entanglement of having two accounts that caused it, which, by the way, I didn't try to have two accounts. Google made me do it. But I had to go over to the old Mac, export my bookmarks, and import them back into the new Mac. I don't have a lot of them, but the favorites bar has a couple things like the YouTube Live link that I need every single week for the show. Now, another surprise that I had trouble with was Clarify. This is an essential piece of software for me, and an essential part of the ease of using Clarify to create my tutorials online is that I can connect the tool to my WordPress login, and then I can push them straight up to my site. That also makes it really easy to modify them later. I didn't mind tapping the button to connect to my WordPress site again, but I was surprised to see it fail to connect. On the old machine, I pushed the Verify button, and sure enough, that installation could see my server without issue. I dropped a note to Trevor at Blue Mango Learning, and he got back to me really quickly. He explained that sometimes a template or a plugin on a WordPress installation will make it hard for Clarify to find a file. It's called xmlrpc.php. He suggested I hold down the Option key while asking to connect to the WordPress server, and sure enough, I was then able to enter my site address and credentials, and it worked perfectly. Oh man, that would have been a bad one to lose. That would have made me really sad. Well, around this time, I figured it was time to start typing up my show notes so that I could remember what to tell you guys about all the stuff I was doing. But my right arm was getting a bit sore from all the computing I'd been doing. I decided to use Apple's built-in dictation for speech to text. Now, that's easily enabled by hitting the Function key twice on the keyboard. But for improved accuracy, they suggest you install the Enhanced Dictation Library. Yay, yet another thing to do before I can get started. It's a really big download. I want to say it's a couple of gigabytes, but I have pretty good bandwidth, so it was only a few minutes to get it started. I think it's quite ironic that I'm using speech to text to dictate into a document which I later on read out loud as a podcast. Well, the most important thing in doing a podcast, even a video podcast, is producing good audio. One of the most irritating things in audio is when the levels are not consistent. This is terrible within a podcast, but it's also irritating when you switch from one podcast to the next if the loudness is not the same. I use a tool called a phonic leveler to both level my own audio within one podcast and to meet the standard guidelines for loudness. A wonderful gentleman named Paul Figiani spent a lot of time helping me get it set up correctly. For some silly reason, I never documented those settings. I think I was lulled into complacency because the application lets you create presets. Remember when I said that using my backup as a bootable machine was a little bit dangerous because I might change things? I think in messing around and trying to find the presets, I actually caused them to be removed. I had to go hat in hand back to Paul and ask him for the settings again. He was a sweetheart and made a nice little tutorial with screenshots, which I now have fully saved everywhere. Bart has been teaching me how to manage my own web server over the last few months. One of the tricks he taught me was how to create my own SSH keys so that it was faster and easier to log into my server. I realized that I would need help knowing how to move those over. Bart taught me a really cool trick. He said that in the terminal, if you type open, and in this case, I'm trying to get to the .ssh file, he said type open space /.ssh, it opens that folder in the Finder. Of course, you can use this to open any folder in the Finder, which is pretty cool. Once I had that folder open on each of the Macs, I could grab the contents and move them over. Probably one of the easiest things I was able to move. By the way, Steve, hi. Did you really proofread this?
I caught several things.
Bert? It says Bart Burt.
Who's Bart Burt?
I don't know, but it says Bart Burt in here.
Content, just spelling.
Well, I don't think Bart Burt is a real word, and it says when one time when it was supposed to say one.
So some of these things could be interpreted multiple ways. For instance, you may have met a new person named Bart Burt who I just don't know. It
said when of the most irritating things.
Oh, I thought I changed that one.
No.
Well, I missed that one. Okay.
Okay, and I found another place where you had asterisks.
Uh-oh.
I just read over them. I don't know where they are.
It's probably the when.
When? Here it is. What is your blog post? So I said, I thought it would be fun to go to my own blog post and download and install it. Oh, what is it?
What is it? Is it
the application I was talking about?
Okay, that should be clarified because you were talking about the blog post. So it sounds like a blog post. Yeah. You could.
Well, it's a zip file.
You could be a little more clear on that.
Oh, shut up. Bart Burt. I'd like everybody to remember Bart Burt.
Don't tell him.
He's going Klingon from time to time. What does that mean? I do not understand, George.
Xylon. What is?
Oh, Cylon?
Cylon.
Uh-oh. Okay, where did I stop? Good grief. Oh, Paul Figiani. Bart Burt. There we go. All right, I'm almost done. It's a long story, isn't it? Okay. What time are we at? Oh, we're at 29 minutes. That's actually pretty good. Okay. Where is it? There you go. Let me make sure. Probably one of the easiest. Okay. Okay. Here's another one that you'll appreciate when you hear security bits this week. I was on a Skype call with Bart, and suddenly all of those silly little Skype noises started blurping and bleeping coming through whenever a friend got on or off of Skype. Okay, I probably shouldn't burp. Excuse me. Okay, name that movie. Excuse me. Not you.
Oh.
It's for the audience. Well, you should know it too.
They need to drink.
Oh, okay. All right. Here's another one, and it's one that you'll appreciate when you hear security bits this week. I was on a Skype call with Bart, and suddenly all of those silly Skype noises started bleeping, blooping coming through whenever a friend got on or off of Skype. I'm sure you've heard this on other people's podcasts, but personally, I think it's a sign of being kind of a noob. I mean, if you're doing a real job here, I mean, come on, you could turn those sounds off. In Skype, you will only hear those noises once from me because I was furiously shutting them off as fast as I could while Bart talked. Yet another application that I've highly configured is my IRC chat client, Textual. I send into several servers, the ones at Twit, Diamond Club for Tom Merritt's show, Relay.fm for Clockwise podcast, and of course, to chat.podfeed.com for the live show. By this time, I was tired of looking for configuration files. I just took a bunch of screenshots with Clarify, and I went back to the new Mac and did it all by hand. Steve and I ran a practice session simulating the live show. That's when I remembered that I had created yet another application using Automator. This application is called, quite cleverly, Live Show. When I launch that application with Spotlight, it opens about 9 applications at the same time that I use to create the show. I grabbed that from my applications folder and moved it to the new Mac. I also use an application called Moom to rearrange the windows to predefine locations and sizes. I haven't been able to find that configuration file yet, so I'll probably just move that around like an animal this weekend. I don't like that ending. And I found another typo. Come on, Steve. Let's see.
I thought you didn't have time to make all those last
opens ones. About 9 No, but these are little ones. Grab that from my application. I grabbed that for my applications folder. Should be from. Okay. I just didn't like the ending of that, or the last piece of that. I'm running long on it, so I'll probably just move that. I haven't been able to. What?
Oh, I'm still hot. Sorry. Let me.
Yes, you are. You're laughing at the chat room,
John. Yeah.
Squirrel. What are you people sleeping? Okay, you guys aren't talking to me. That's good. Let's see. Where did I go? Windows to predefine locations and sizes. Okay, predefine sizes. Stop talking to me. I have yet to be able to find that configuration file, so I'll probably have to move those windows around like an animal. All right, let's see. I also forgot to tell you one of the little tricks I had to use to move all these configuration files around between the user libraries. So we all know the trick of holding the Option key down so we can see the library file under the Go menu, right? But how do you see the library folder on a remote Mac? Well, I Googled it, and I'm sure you're going to be shocked to hear that I found a lovely tutorial over on podfeet.com showing how to do it. Oh, well, that really helped, though. All right, all I have left on my list as of showtime is to make sure my Paprika recipe library is synced, find that Moom configuration file, reconnect my Crashman backups to this new Mac, copy over my MAMP WordPress installation, make sure it works, install the service for XKPassWD, use Migration Assistant to move over my Screencast Online users, set up a new local backup with SuperDuper, figure out how to get Excel 2011 off of a CD installation, make sure my home inventory database came over to the new Mac. Oh, and I've got 7 more apps I need to install so far. Now, aren't you glad I didn't walk you through all of the applications I had to install? And I didn't actually talk about every fiddly bit. Now, I figure by this time, 83% of you have decided that I'm nuts and that I should have just used Migration Assistant. But let me give you those metrics I promised at the beginning. The number of applications I had installed went from 242 down to 80. Now, that's certainly going to grow over time, and I'm sure I'm going to run into a few things here and there, but still, that's a huge reduction. I checked out the number of things in the library preferences folder. It went from 646 to 212, so it's cut by 67%. My library folder went from using 136 gigabytes to 12 gigabytes. Okay? Seriously, there's a lot of junk in there. In total, I'm now using 200 gigabytes less disk space out of a terabyte. Now, again, I'm sure there's some more stuff I'm going to need to go get, but it's not going to be those kind of numbers. This has been a lot of work, and I hope I haven't discouraged any of you from doing this because I really, truly am a big believer in the clean install to get your machine running much faster and to recover a ton of disk space. But dang, that was a lot of work. Save.
You mean the blog post?
Allison's video seems to keep changing color every couple of seconds, almost like there's a flashing sign outside.
It's when you put your hand up in front because you're now blocking the blue in your shirt, so it's trying to average the colors in the...
Okay, that just do it?
Yeah, that'll
Let's
do
see.
it.
Okay, stop talking so I can see me. Oh, yeah. Yep. So that might be an auto exposure setting.
Yeah,
Let's see.
Webcam settings.
I mean, no, I know it's webcam settings, but it might be an auto white balance.
Yep.
Okay. Exposure, brightness, contrast, saturation. Okay, let's turn that off. Okay, tell me when you like the color.
Too red. That's better. A little yellow.
That's too yellow. Okay.
That's good. A little red.
Every time you talk, I disappear, so I can't see it. Okay, hang on. Wow, there's a sharp edge right there. Okay, I'm going to stop there.
A little red, but I'll leave it.
Oh, stop it. I'll call it maybe. All right, saved a precept for next time so you can tell me it's wrong. Yeah, it is too red. But it's like a sharp edge. It goes goes to either side, yellow and red. Uh-oh. Stephen Getz just finished a workout. Oh, no, he had a perfect week. Go, Stephen. All right. We better be close to done. I didn't do anything about Patreon. Oh, did we get any new? I don't think we got any new patrons this week.
Oh, what? I didn't even check. I can do a quick check.
Okay. Okay. Preview. And by the way, ton of typos in the end of that. Oh, I got to put in security bits. That's what I got to do. Okay. Security bits music. GarageBand jingles. Oh, I don't have garage. Oh, shoot. Where are my GarageBand jingles? Anybody know where those are? Oh, this isn't good.
GarageBand.
No, they're not. They're somewhere. Where do you think those are? I kept them in my sidebar on the other Mac. Okay. Oops. Let's wake that machine up and find out where they are. Okay. They are in... Oh, great. GarageBand jingles can't be found because the original item can't be found. Okay, I know another place they are. They're in together. There. Jingles. No, I'm doing it the wrong way. Okay. Uh-oh. I swear I put them in here. Okay. Music files. There won't be a lot of those. Sounds. There they are. Dumb question. DJ corner. There we go.
Phew. That was close.
Okay. Show and finder. I don't know if that's the right way to do it, but we're going to do that. We're just going to shove it up here. Okay, there we go. Pretty good. Together for the win. Where's my Wonder List? Wonder List. Where is it? Where's Wonder List? Oh, that was the wrong app. Oh, it's not running. Hang on. Got to add to that list. Find GarageBand jingles. And I put a ... and that means there's a subtask, and I'm going to say, look in together. All right. So now, I think I need a new track for security bits. Oh, we'll put Mark and Bart down on the same track. How's it sound? But dang, that was a lot of work. Sounds quiet, doesn't it?
A little bit.
Okay, so it's got its audio pulled down. Why is that? That's why. Did I just change Mark at the other end?
A lot of work.
There we go. Let me check Mark real quick. Yeah, why did I have Mark's audio down so low? That's weird. I did not purposely make him quieter. Let's put him back where he belongs. Back up here, back there. That's really weird. Brought it in super low.
Take another pill.
Yeah, that's a lot better. I thought he was just really quiet on his recording.
I like that. Take another pill. That was a nice little
that is good. Okay, so where's my recordings? Where does Audio Hijack put my recordings? Oh, maybe it's in here. No, I brought it in. Oh, I know where it is. There it is. Never mind. Don't panic. I got it. I'm good. Don't worry. Okay, why am I getting a spinning pizza wheel? Quit save. Finder's locked up. This is good. By the way, I had a bad I had what essentially felt like a springboard crash. I'm going to have to kill the Finder. It's not what you expect.
Well, your first problem is you got Springboard on your Mac.
Yeah, I guess.
How did that happen?
Yeah. It was just like a Springboard crash, but it was on my Mac. It was very strange.
Like a Finder crash? You just restarted the Finder?
I was at the login screen.
Oh.
Oh, are you guys discussing Brussels sprouts now?
You bet we are. I'm starting to get anxious about my Brussels sprouts.
Are you? Well, this show's apparently never going to end. There's a bunch of typos. I don't think you read the last like 6 or 7 paragraphs.
Well, I may have gotten a little tired.
A little bored.
It was a long post.
It was, but geez, I spent a lot of time working on that. Okay, let's hear this. Oh, actually, let's. Well, it's that time of the week again. And that's too quiet. That's awesome. Let's take that. Nope. Let's bump this up. Bump. Come on. I know it'll level 8, but I don't like it starting that low. Okay. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for Security Bits with Bart Bouchat's almost a chit chat again.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so confusing. How are you doing today, Bart? Okay, but the ending's funny. Let's hear what he says. All right, I think that'll do us.
Okay, indeed. And then until next time. Oh, what was it I say again? Oh, sugar.
Stay patched and stay secure.
That's the one. Do what Allison said.
I like that. I like that.
That's good.
Okay. Let's see. I need to get.
Before you sign off.
Yeah.
Since you're in the finishing stages.
Yeah.
Tesla needs to make an appearance. I think Sandy requested it.
Okay. I'm not done recording. You can go get her. And
oh, you're not? Oh, sorry. Wow.
No?
How much longer do you have?
I got to close out the show.
Oh, the close. Gotcha.
Yeah. Can I close out the show?
Close it out, dear.
Okay. And I got to pull a Patreon reminder out. Okay, here we go. Well, if you haven't gone over to Patreon. Shoot, don't do it off the top of your head. This is why you script everything, Allison. Well, that was kind of a fun ending. I enjoyed that episode, that's for sure. Well, if you haven't been over to podfeed.com/Patreon yet and checked out the idea of pledging a little bit to help the show, we'd really appreciate if you did that. Many thanks to all the people who are pledging. It was really nice to actually get some funding for the show for the first time in a long time. If you're still using the Amazon affiliate links, you keep on going with that because that is a great source of revenue to keep the show going. But that's going to wind us up for this week. Do not forget to send in your dumb questions, comments, and suggestions by emailing me at allison@podfeed.com. You can follow me on Twitter at podfeed. Remember, everything good starts with podfeed.com. We got podfeed.com/Patreon, podfeed.com/Facebook, podfeed.com/Google+, podfeed.com/Amazon. And if you want to join the fun in the live show like Landon did after a long absence, head on over to podfeed.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic NosillaCastaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. Okay, now Tesla can come in.
Okay, Tess.
That's the one. Do what Allison said.
Well, that was kind of a fun ending. I enjoyed that episode. All right, and we're gonna go minus.
There she is.
Oh, hi, P-Dog. Hi, P-Dog.
Come on.
Uh-oh.
Say hi.
Uh-oh.
Hello, NosillaCastaways. Hello. Yay. I'm glad
it's kind of dark.
Glad to be here.
Okay. Steve's lost his ever-loving mind. Hi, baby.
Wait,
she just had a bath, so she's doing good. Uh-oh. I think he's gonna go get some cats. Save yourselves. All right, let's see. Plus, no. Plus. Where are we? Where's my outro music? There we go.
She's very warm.
Uh-oh, what do you got?
We got a kitty.
You've had Grace under fire. Remember that show?
Now she likes to sit right up here.
Yeah, and that would be just super handy right now, dear. Oh, look at that. You can drag an Amadeus pro even when you can't see where it is. I just dragged the outro music from the far left of the timeline. I started dragging, and I dragged beyond the edge of the window, and it still worked. Okay, that's helpful. No, that was really cool. I want to show you guys that. That was amazing. You guys want to see it? All right. I'm glad you were here, Landon. This is, it's fun in here. Every once in a while I have to do the show not live, and I don't like it at all. All right. Yes, Steve, that was delightful. We really enjoyed that, all of us. Every one of us. And in the live show, like Landon did after a long absence, head on over to podfeed.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic NosillaCastaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. All right, there it goes. All right, we are a wrap. The recording is done. Nothing left but to make the Brussels sprouts. All right, Steve, get them their last drink in. Oh, wait, did Sybil just show up?
No. Sybil's been here for quite a while.
She has? Oh, okay. I haven't even said hi. Hi, Sybil. All right, show's over. Nothing to see here. Move along. Get him one more drink, Steve.
All right, NosillaCastaways, have a great week. It's been fun. Let's do it again. Maybe next Sunday.
Next Sunday.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.